Alright, so it's a dangerous world out there, what with everybody else mastering, like, you know, Hadoukens and various other ranged attacks, making life kind of difficult for a grappler like me. So, that is why I sensibly purchased a longbow. The silliest of all bows. I think this is like a 40 or 60 pounder and a 40 incher. I can't remember because they use like squiggly numbers from made up. But yeah, this is a fun little toy I've got when I have like, you know, the space. I usually try to shoot the arrows at least once a day. I have 2 sets of arrows. I'm sort of working out the arrows for it because I think I gotta have longer arrows because I got long arrows and I'm really good at those. And then I have these kind of thick fat arrows. And they pack some punch, but also there's a bigger spread. They sort of have a little bit of a mind of their own in terms of, you know, where they want to go. Fortunately, not too bad. Like, it's not like they're just gonna fly off higgledy-piggledy. But compared to the long ones that make it look like I know what I'm doing, they're not as good. So the first thing you got to do when you are, you know, using your bow and arrow is string the thing, because you don't want to leave it just, you know, all angry and like fucking stretched up all the time, because it's not good for it. So you get this little doohickey, which is called a stringer, and so what that'll do is you pull it down over the string, and you pull the, you know, you get the string into the right spot. Put your foot on it, and then you put your thumb on it, and what that'll do is it'll go weep and bend it so you can comfortably get the string on. And so, ding, there it is. Now there are ways that you can string it like just without the stringer, but, you know, I'm not what I'd consider good enough with it to want to be piss farting around with the fancy stuff. You always got to start, like, you know, start with the fucking basics first. You can't just jump to like, oh, I'm going to fucking do a backflip with it and, you know, catch the arrow and all that shit. Because that's dumb. That's how dumb people do things. So as you can see, we've got the little fat boys here. And then we got the long and slenders. And now if I can get my lovely assistant Amber to stand a little bit behind me, because I don't want to accidentally fucking put it in the... I'll be charged with
Don't wang my chong.
That'll make it a hate crime. So this is nice actually because the ceiling here is a little bit higher than it was under my old house. So under my old house I had to like basically fire like that because I just could not hold the fucking thing vertical. And in retrospect maybe I shouldn't have got a big giant bow, but fuck that. You know, that's half the fun is big giant bow. So, you know, being sort of a beginner and still practicing a little bit, you know, you kind of got to just go a bit slow. See? And then you sort of got to gauge. The tongue sound that you get, that's a good sound. That means you've done it right. Ah, I wish I had some housemates fucking LARPing arrows. They got you right in the goddamn butt.
Alright, let's do a slow-mo.
Alright, so you probably got a few slow-mos there. Hopefully you got the one of me bonking myself in the nose. Pretty sure I did that. I tend to do that a little bit. It's hard for me to sort of gauge the strength that I gotta do. Because for a long time I couldn't even sort of... I didn't want to draw it all the way back. Because I was under the house. And the backing for it at the old place was just like the garage door that went out into the open. And if I missed, sometimes they put holes in the garage door. Which I wasn't expecting it to do because the garage door was metal. But up here we're under that, we're like below the line of the road, where like that's behind that is dirt and like earth, so I don't have to worry too much about somehow this fucking threading a needle and hooning out into the street and fucking killing a small child, because they tend to frown on that these days. So you know, I'm trying to get a little bit better. Like again with the long ones, you know, I can really feel it. Like. And I feel like maybe there is a difference with, like, especially if you got like a long bow, that you might need a long arrow. Like that feels like it makes sense. And I do feel like that even though the arrows are a bit heavier, yeah, it's a bit up.
Woo! You got that through like a fucking just the edge of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me like it's these things pack a fucking punch. Like, Ah, I hit my own arrow. Oh well. I have to get some more. I mean, I just get them online. They're reasonably cheap. You get a lot
Just
like...
shoot an apple of Angus' head. William Tell. Won't tell if you
See,
are.
that one flew pretty well. That's one of the fatties. But I think I think that because they're heavier, I really do have to draw like quite a bit. I just like part of me, because like when I was little, like my second cousin had one and I drew it once and it nearly fucking exploded. And it's just, there's just a little bit. That and like, again, it's like, you know, you start flinging a thing, my brain goes, all right, what if it fucking ricochets around and then fucking, you know, comes back. All right. It was turning, so I missed it, but it donked the fucking wood. And that's downstairs archery.